Hello, thank you so much for being here to join me today for this yoga practice. Today's flow is going to be all about honoring gratitude. We are in the season of gratitude, so I want you to just close your eyes, bring your gaze inward. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale, let it go. Just notice your natural breath, the way that you breathe without force or control. And just sit with your own breath. Become familiar with it. The rest of the day, you probably don't even think about the way that you're breathing. So honor that breath now. With each inhalation, take in gratitude. With each exhalation, let everything else go. In this time, offer yourself an intention to be grateful for one of your traits that you wouldn't think to immediately self-love. This trait could be physical, mental, or emotional. Reaffirm that love and gratitude throughout this practice. Continue to inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, big sigh of relief, set the breath free. Noticing how good that feels to take a sigh of relief. Let's do that again. Inhale all the way to the top of the breath. Exhale, release, let it go. And again, one more time. Now that we've taken a moment to center ourselves, to invite in gratitude for our body, our heart, our mind, our practice, we'll let the eyes flutter open, coming back into the space. And as we come back into this space, know that we're going to change the station of our body from seated to reclined. So just find a way that's comfortable for you to come onto your back. Bring the soles of your feet together. Knees are going to be splayed out wide. We're coming into Reclined Badakhanasana. So as you recline, feel your back, shoulders, and your head connected to the mat. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Notice if your hips feel tight. If they do, you can position blocks underneath your thighs. If you don't have blocks, you can make fists and then position your fist under your thighs. This way the legs are supported and we don't need to hold on to tension. Fists can remain here if you're using them as a prop for the thighs. If not, you can bring your hands to your heart center. Just letting one hand rest on top of the other. Now, if you feel any discomfort in your low back, you can lift the knees up, heel toe the feet wider so the feet come to the edges of the mat, and then let the knees come in towards each other. Start to press the low back to the mat. Either option works. Just continue to find the breath, and with the breath, feel the movement of the torso. Inhale, feel the chest rise, pressing into the hands. Exhale, feel the torso soften. Take a couple more rounds in this way. Gaze is inward, eyes are closed. Continue to connect with your own breath. If you get distracted with your thoughts, just keep coming back to that breath awareness. Noticing if the breath is short, and if so, no worries, just lengthen. Here we're practicing full lung capacity breathing. As we inhale, taking in as much air as possible. And as we exhale, letting it go. As we lengthen the breath, we calm the nervous system, allowing ourselves to down-regulate, reducing stress and anxiety, and feeling more peaceful in our being. Come back to our intention of gratitude. Find that one thing that you're grateful for about yourself in this moment. Fully honor that with your eyes closed. Visualize that part of yourself. And as you take your next exhalation, release the hands from the heart center, heel toe the feet closer towards each other. Lengthen the arms. Arms are by your sides. Think about your arms like anchors. Weighted down, palms are pressing to the mat. Bring the heels in line with the glutes. So maybe the middle fingers graze the heels. We're going to take a rolling bridge to articulate the spine. With our next inhale breath, we'll lift the hips, press them way up high so we're at a diagonal from our shoulders to our knees. And when it's time to exhale, we'll lower from the top of the shoulders, bone by bone, slowly until the tailbone meets the mat. And then we'll take that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the hips, press them up, open the front of the body. Exhale, slowly lower down, bone by bone. There's no rush. 1 more. Inhale, lift, press the hips up. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, lower down. As the tailbone meets the mat, we'll lift the feet. Hug the knees into the chest. Take your palms to your shins. Press the low back to the mat. Then separate the knees as wide as possible. Lift the feet so the soles of the feet are facing up towards the ceiling. Then you can start off by taking your hands behind your knees. If you can reach further, take your hands to your ankles. If you can reach even further, you can take your peace fingers, your index and middle fingers to hook onto your big toes. Remember, knees are wide. Bottoms of the feet are facing up. Now you can also take your hands to the pinky sides of the feet. That's going to be a deeper stretch for the hips. So back out if it's too much. Happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Option to stay still, or you can gently rock from side to side, offering yourself a nice massage for your back. Just noticing how the muscles of the back feel if you're rocking from side to side. Another option you can take is to extend one leg, straightening it as the opposite knee stays bent. If you're in this option, feel a deeper stretch at the straight leg. And then switch it up. Try it on the other side. You might even take the option to extend both legs. And then from here, we'll bend the knees, release the feet, keep the legs lifted, open the arms out to the side. So we want to position the knees above the hips, the ankles in line with the knees. With the arms out to the sides, wrists are in line with the shoulders. Take an inhale breath here. With your next exhale, lower the knees over to the left. Think about keeping that right shoulder grounded. Spinal twist. Lift the knees straight up to the sky. Exhale, take both knees over to the right. Now focusing on keeping that left shoulder down. Each time we inhale, we'll lift the knees to center. And each time we exhale, we'll take the knees opposite direction. Simply noticing how this feels for your spine as you rotate from side to side. We'll take one more on each side. Movement following the breath. Once you've evened out the sides, bring the knees up to center. Take the hands underneath the knees. Lift the tailbone and gently rock up and down the spine a few times until eventually you find yourself onto your seat. So we're changing the station of our body from reclined to seated. As you get there, position your shoulders above your hips and your ears above your shoulders. From here, we can tuck our chin towards our chest. On our next inhale, bring the right ear above the right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest, take it over to the left. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. One more on each side. Chin comes back to center. You might hold it here, pause. Feel a nice stretch at the back of the neck, maybe even going into the shoulders and the upper back. Exhale, let it go. Lift the chin, gaze is forward. Now bring the hands outside of the hips. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, take the shoulders back and down. Couple more rounds. The next time the shoulders go back and down, bring the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms together. Now, if your hands don't meet, don't worry. You can use a yoga strap or a scarf, or maybe even a belt. So we connect the hands behind the back. As we inhale, we lift the hands. Feel the chest open. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing away any stress or tension. Exhale, lower the fists down towards the mat. Couple more rounds. Inhale, open your big, beautiful heart, cultivating love and compassion. Exhale, lower the hands down. We've got one more round. Inhale, lift the fist as high as you can. Feel a stretch, the biceps and shoulders. Exhale, lower down. Shake out the shoulders. Now, changing the station of the body. Again, we're going to move from seated to kneeling. We'll reach the hands forward, lift the hips, coming into a neutral tabletop position. We want to align the wrist under the shoulders, spread the fingers wide. Index fingers are parallel to each other. And now we want the knees under the hips. As you do this, you can lower your chin, look between your knees. If you can see your feet, just move them out until you can't see them anymore. So the ankles are in line with the knees. Now keeping straight arms as you inhale, lower the belly. And as you exhale, lift the back. Each time we inhale, belly lowers, tailbone lifts. Each time we exhale, we lift the upper back, create space between the shoulder blades. Straight arms. Let's take one more round. And we'll come back to a neutral tabletop position. From here, reach the crown of the head forward. Reach the tailbone back, energetically lengthening the spine. On your next inhale, lift your left knee. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Press your hips forward. Now, as you press your hips forward, if your shoulders are going past your fingertips like mine are, walk your hands forward just so that you can get the shoulders above the wrist, and then you can shimmy your left foot forward so that the left knee is tracking above the left ankle. Now, starting off with straight arms, you might already feel enough sensation at the front of the right hip as you keep pressing the hips forward. Another option is you might decide to splay that left knee out, rolling to the pinky side of the left foot, getting external rotation for the left hip. Or you might decide to hug that left knee in. You might also decide to come onto your forearms, positioning the elbows in line with the arch of the left foot. For more activation, you might curl the right toes and lift off of the right knee, keeping a bend in the left knee and pressing that right heel back. You might even shimmy forward and back, just taking little micro movements. If the back knee is lifted, go ahead and lower it down. Uncurl the toes. Press palms to the mat. Straight arms. Now from here, I'm going to show you one of my all-time favorite stretches that I just discovered myself one day on the mat, and it's awesome. So I just call it the side body stretch. Side body is the part of the human body that we stretch the least, so it's really important to get in there. So to set it up, look at your hands. Your left hand should be to the inside of your left foot. Slide that left hand back so that the space between the index finger and the thumb hugs the heel. Then lift the right hand to the top right corner of the mat, reaching to a diagonal. With straight arms, slowly start to lower the right side of the body down towards the mat. Straight arms. Lowering so much that it feels like the right shoulder might tap the right ear. And then feel the intercostal muscles between the ribs get a nice deep stretch. You can turn your left toes out to the left if that's more comfortable. And then we'll start to come out. So we'll press that right hand to the mat, lift the torso to center. If the left toes went out, bring them back in so they're facing the top of the mat. Left hand and right hand come to the inside of the left foot. We're going to take one more option on this side. Lift the hips, send them back. So the right hip is above the right knee. You can walk the hands closer to the torso. Straighten the left leg, lift the left toes. Take an inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows, hinge at the hips. Think about lowering your torso towards the mat. Nice deep stretch for that left hamstring. Each exhalation is an opportunity for releasing, letting go, cleansing. You might even relax the head and the neck for one more full round of breath. With the next inhalation, rebend that left knee. Bring the hands in line with the left foot. We'll slide that left foot back, left knee in line with the right. Then lift the right knee, step the right foot outside of the right hand. Now press the hips forward and then realign yourself. So remember, we want the wrist under the shoulders, right knee above the ankle. Hips are pressing forward. So finding our variation of lizard lunge on this side. Straight arms. Maybe that right knee splays out, coming to the pinky side of the right foot. Or you can hug the knee into the shoulder. You can also come onto your forearms. You can also curl the left toes, lifting off of that left knee. Pressing that left heel back, maybe taking little micro movements as you inhale, shifting forward, and as you exhale, shifting back. So much gratitude for this amazing body that lets you move in so many ways. And with this movement, we release congestion, tightness. And we start to feel a little more freedom in our body. And that feels amazing. Okay, so if the back knee is lifted, go ahead and lower it down. Uncurl the toes. Press palms to the mat. Straight arms. Coming into our side body stretch on this side. Starting off with the right hand to the inside of the right foot, we're going to slide that right hand back. Space between the index finger and the thumb hugs the heel. Look to your left hand. Lift it, reach it up and out on a diagonal towards the left top corner of the mat. With the arms straight, slowly start to lower the left side of the body. Remember, you can rotate the right toes out to the right. So not only does this feel amazing for the side body on the left side, but you might also feel a really great stretch at the right hip. Continue to sink down, straight arms. Feels like that left shoulder is going to tap the left ear. And then we're going to start to come out. So we'll press into that left hand, lift the torso to center. Take the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Right toes face back to the top of the mat. Left hand comes in line with the right. From here, we'll lift the hips just enough to bring the left hip above the left knee. Walk the hands towards your torso if you need to. Lift those right toes. Right leg is straight. Inhale, breath here. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows, fold into it. This feels amazing for my hamstring on my right side. Hope it feels amazing for you too. Now listen to your body. Continue to express and show gratitude to your body by knowing when to lean in and when to back out. If you feel pain, it's time to back out. If you feel like you can go for a deeper stretch, it's time to lean in. Find that sweet spot, that edge. And then with the next inhale, we'll rebend that right knee. Walk the hands in line with the foot, slide that right foot back, right knee in line with the left. And then we're just going to come onto our seat for a moment. So hips can come down to the heels. So from here, we are going to start to change the station of the body again. We're going to come into an inversion, which is downward facing dog. So if you're like me and you've got an extra layer on that might be a little bit too much fabric that might get in your way, then you might want to adjust it. So I'm just adjusting the microphone here. It's a little cold, but I want to get rid of this layer because I don't like that extra fabric in my face when I am trying to guide you. So get rid of any layers that you need to. Then when you're ready, you'll send your hands forward, lift your hips. Hands are coming to the top of the mat. Separate the knees if you brought them together. Curl the toes. Lift the knees, then lift the hips way up high and start to press your chest towards your thighs. Downward facing dog. Now, if your hamstrings are still really tight, I suggest taking a bend in your knees. If your hamstrings are open, send your heels down to the mat. Now, this might be your first down dog of the day, so feel it out. You might take alternate knee bends. As one knee bends, the opposite leg straightens. Keep sending your chest towards your thighs, taking pressure out of the shoulders. Another option you can take is to rock the hips from side to side. I can feel that going all the way up to my shoulders. And then from here, we're slowly going to walk our feet towards our hands. So we're bringing our feet towards the top of the mat. Once the feet get there, as we inhale, we'll take a half lift, bringing the palms to the shins. And then as we exhale, we'll fold into it. So as you hinge at the hips and fold, arms can dangle, or you can take your hands to opposite elbows, framing your head with your arms. Getting a little more traction for the spine. And stretching the back of the body. And finding alternate knee bends, if you'd like. I find that this is a really nice option because if you send the hip back of the straight leg, you can feel a nice deep stretch in the entire leg and hip. If you're working from side to side, go ahead and even it out. And then as you exhale, release your arms. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, step the right foot back about 3 feet. Right toes can turn to the right side of the mat. And then on your very next exhale, fold into it. So you're thinking about bringing your torso towards your left leg. Getting back into the hamstring. Think about sending that left hip back, right hip forward. This is a little micro movement. Both legs are straight. With the next inhale, we'll take a half lift. Exhale, step the right foot in line with the left and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step the left foot back. Same distance, left toes can turn out to the left side of the mat. Pausing here for an inhale breath. And then as you exhale, fold the torso towards the right leg. You might notice if one side is tighter than the other. For me, it's the right side today. Think about sending that right hip slightly back, left hip forward, micro movement. Breathe and fold with each exhale breath. Gratitude for these strong legs that carry us through life. Inhale is a half lift. Exhale, left foot meets the right, back to our forward fold. We'll start to bend the knees and we'll slowly, really slowly roll up to standing. Take your time. Let your head come up last to prevent you from getting dizzy. And as you find the standing position, lift the shoulders up and then roll the shoulders back and down. Palms are facing forward. Feet are towards the top of the mat. So we're in our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Once we get there, we can spread the toes, shift the weight towards the toes and the heels. Just get really rooted here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. You can bend the knees to make this connection. Step the right toes back, then the left toes. So we're in plank position. We'll practice holding here for a few rounds of breath. Think about pulling the belly button up towards the spine without lifting the glutes. So you want to think about your body in a straight line. Feel the engagement at the core. And with your next exhale, lower down. First the knees, then bend the elbows, lower chest and chin. Bring the thighs and the belly down to the mat. And as you inhale, lift the chest, gaze is forward. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten the arms, downward facing dog. Pause here, find your breath. Inhale through your nostrils. Exhale, let it go. 2 more rounds of breath. From here, we'll walk, step, or jump our feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, gathering all the gratitude that you need. Connect the hands, bring this gratitude in towards your heart center. Then release the arms, bring them by your sides. Look down to your feet. Let the big toes meet, little space at the heels. As we inhale, we'll sit back as if we're looking for a chair behind us. Reach the arms forward and up. Gaze is forward. So we're in our chair pose. Squeeze the thighs together. Feel the strength, the activation. And then on your next exhale, fold forward. Straighten the legs. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back, plank position. From here, knees, chest, chin as you lower down, or bend the elbows, hug them in chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale is going to take us to downward facing dog. And once we get to downward facing dog, as we inhale, we'll lift and lengthen that right leg. Exhale, bend the knee, bring it under the body, step it through. Right foot finds the right thumb. Engage that right hip. As you inhale, reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus arms, gaze up, little back bend. Inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, twist to the right. Open the arms. Inhale, take it back to center. Exhale, lower the hands down. Right foot comes back from plank position. Move through your flow. Movement following the breath. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift and lengthen the left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, step it through. Now engage that left hip. Use your strength, your stability, and your balance to lift the arms up. Crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, take it back to center. Exhale, hands meet the mat. Left toes come back. It's plank position. Option to move through your flow or take it straight away to downward facing dog. Once you get to down dog, we'll take 3 rounds of breath. You always have the option to come into child's pose instead, if you prefer, especially if you need some grounding. Use this time to reconnect with your breath. Now, if you're in downward facing dog, go ahead and bend your knees. Open them wide, lower them down. Let the big toes meet. We'll all come in child's pose. Send the hips towards the heels. Reach the fingertips forward. Relax the forehead down. As you relax the forehead down, just let your entire body soften. Feel gratitude for the support of the mat and the ground below, holding and nurturing you as you find stillness after movement. With each inhalation, take in fresh, clean, new air. And with each exhalation, release stale, stagnant energy. So much gratitude for this amazing body. We're capable of doing and achieving more than we even realize. With our next inhale breath, we'll start to lift our forehead. Exhale, walk the hands towards the body. Lifting the head, bringing the shoulders above the hips. And then we'll just lift the hips enough to take the feet out to one side so we can come back onto our seat. And as we come onto our seat, we'll bring our feet forward and we'll scoot our glutes to the middle of the mat so that we can come into Shavasana, our posture of relaxation. So as we find this pose, we can take this traditional star shape with space between the legs and space at the armpits. Tucking chin toward the chest. And offering ourselves this time to just practice presence. To be here now in our own body. Knowing that the most important thing we can do right now is to just relax, to just be. We're so accustomed to constantly doing and meeting the demands of our culture. And sometimes we forget to just be, to just enjoy. This is a really important part of our practice because it allows us to integrate all the movement that we've done, to really soak in all those benefits. Bring awareness to how you're breathing in this moment. And with each new round of breath, find expansion. Noticing how good it feels to allow this pranayama to move in and out of the body. Coming back to that practice of calming the nervous system, down-regulating. Practice sending the thoughts away just as easily as they arrive. Continuing to bring your awareness back to your breath. Maintaining the breath and the gaze inward. Also use this time to soak in all the gratitude that you have for your body, for allowing you to move in your practice, for your mind, for giving yourself this time for self-care, and for your heart, for being there for yourself, for holding that space of love and compassion, and for shining it out to others. And as you soak in all this gratitude, we'll remain here for a few more rounds of breath. Remembering that you're benefiting just by breathing. Deepening that lung capacity. This time of presence with yourself. And as we close our practice together today, and gently start to wiggle the fingers and toes, inviting movement back into your physical body. And deepening the movement as you see fit, maybe taking circles with your ankles and wrists, maybe hugging the knees in towards your body. And then deciding if you want to stay in a reclined position, or you're welcome to find your way to a comfortable seat as we close together. And wherever you decide to be, sweep the arms out and up, reaching the fingertips up. And then bring the palms towards each other. Take the thumbs down. As the thumbs come down the midline, connect them to the heart center. Gaze is inward, and the focus is gratitude. Gratitude for ourselves, for our time, for our practice, and for our body that it supports us in this practice. I'm grateful to you for allowing me to guide you in this practice. Thank you so much. Hope to see you next time. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time practicing with me, please click subscribe and let me know in the comments if you have any requests. I'm happy to create classes based on your needs. Hope to see you again. Thank you.